Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Vishpad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Iskcon founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya, Jagat Guru, Savior of the whole world, Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 31, text number 8. Thank you. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Prachetasam Prushtho Iti Prateshasam Prushtho Bhagavan Narado Munihi Bhagavan Narado Munihi Bhagavatyuttama Shloka Bhagavatyuttama Shloka Avistatma Bravin Rupan Avistatma Bravin Rupan Maitreya Uvacha Iti Prachetasam Prushtho Iti Prachetasam Prushtho Bhagavan Narado Munihi Bhagavan Narado Munihi Bhagavatyuttama Shloka Bhagavatyuttama Shloka Avistatma Bravin Rupan Avistatma Bravin Rupan. Sagar. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Prachetasam, by the Prachetas, Prishtaha, being asked, Bhagavan, the great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Naradaha, Narada, Muni, very thoughtful, Bhagavati, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Uttama Shloke, possessing excellent renown, Avishtha, absorbed, Atma, whose mind, Abravit, replied, Drupan, to the kings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Prachetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, began to reply. Purport. In this verse, Bhagavan Naradaha indicates that Narada is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Avishtatma. Narada has no other business than thinking of Krishna, talking of Krishna, preaching about Krishna, and therefore he is sometimes called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences. When a person possesses Bhagavan within his heart, he is also sometimes called Bhagavan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastrer. In every Shastra, the spiritual master is accepted directly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This does not mean that the spiritual master or a saintly person like Narada has actually become the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is accepted in this way because he possesses the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart constantly. As described here, Avishtatma, when one is simply absorbed in the thought of Krishna, one is also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan possesses all opulence. If one possesses Bhagavan within his heart always, does he not automatically possess all opulences also? In that sense, a great devotee of like Narada can be called Bhagavan. However, we cannot tolerate when a rascal or an impostor is called Bhagavan. One must possess either all opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan, who possesses all opulences. Wait a minute. One must possess either all opulences or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan, who possesses all opulences. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pavakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Prachetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, began to reply, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So here Narada is being addressed as a supreme devotee. Narada, that means he is one of the highest classes of devotees, one of the greatest devotees. And he is thus being addressed by Maitreya. Maitreya is saying, my dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Prachetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, began to reply. Now, there are two adjectives, or shall we say two glorifications. One is supreme devotee, and the other is Prabhupada is specifically referring to the use of the word Bhagavan, a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we see that many times in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni is referred to as Bhagavan, uh, indicating that there is this quality of Haritvena, like Hari, like Lord Hari, very similar, because he is always meditating on the form, pastimes of the Lord, thinking of the names of the Lord, and so on. So there is some kind of similarity, and Prabhupada's in the scriptures it is mentioned that this similarity, or shall we say sameness and difference between Guru and Krishna, is also known as an instance of Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. The Guru is simultaneously one, but at the same time different from the Lord. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. He's same, but he's different also. Um, he's same in the sense that Krishna and the devotee, a supreme devotee like Narada, has no difference in their vision, in their goal, in their objectives, in everything. But they are different in the sense that they are still two distinct, different personalities. Krishna is Krishna, Narada is a devotee. So they are different yet the same. So Achintya Beda Beda Tattva is used to explain the difference between Guru and Krishna. But the point here is that Maitreya is referring to three aspects. One is how Narada Muni is same as Krishna, but at the same time different. And because he is constantly absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, he is a supreme devotee. But also Maitreya Muni is mentioning that the Prachetas come to Narada and ask questions. And Prachetas say something very interesting. In one of the previous verses of this chapter, the Prachetas say, may we inform you that because of our being overly attached to family affairs, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. The Prachetas are honestly admitting that this material world is so mesmerizing. This energy of the Lord Maya is so captivating that we almost forgot the instructions of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Though we received personal instructions from Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, but because of the power of entanglement in a family life, we almost forgot those instructions. Though Prachetas were directly instructed by Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu himself, but nevertheless, they are admitting that we almost forgot those instructions. So, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Krishna's energy, different, the Maya energy of the Lord is very bewildering, extremely subtle and very capable. Actually acts in a very subtle way. It's not that it doesn't come, Maya of the Lord doesn't come in front of you as your enemy and with a sword or a bow and an arrow and start fighting with you. No, it doesn't work like that. It comes into your life as if it's your friend, well-wisher, and so on. Maya enters like that, as if it's your best well-wisher, very concerned about you, very bothered about you, your health, and so on, your welfare, and like that. That's how Maya enters. That's how we've become victim. We become trapped uh, by the illusory energy of the Lord. And that's why it's called illusory. Illusory means it's not your friend really. Maya is not your friend. I mean, in one sense, in a larger sense, we can say Maya is a friend because Maya is constantly testing us. Maya is all the time testing us in order to see if we become better and better devotees. We become more careful, more cautious, more renounced, more humble, more humble. So Prachetas are admitting. So it's very nice to see Prachetas admitting that they almost forgot the instructions, though they were so privileged that they got it directly from Lord Shiva and Vishnu. It's a nice quality to have. It's a nice quality for a devotee to have, to be very honest with oneself, um, to be very uh, to be very frank about what is our standing, and to be very transparent and to recognize, like Lord Shiva says after he becomes a victim of Mohini Rupa, uh, Lord Shiva says, this proves how supremely powerful you are, my Lord, and how easy it is for you to trick us and bewilder us. That is the power of the Lord. So it is said that we can't conquer this Maya either by austerity or penance or charity or knowledge. None of these we can employ to successfully conquer Maya. Uh, in order to conquer Maya, we need to have a prayerful mood. We need to understand that Maya is so inconceivably powerful. It can bewilder anybody at any point of time, at any stage in his life. At any stage, Maya can bewilder. And like I said, Maya has its own traps for everybody. Like Bharata, that, that, that great Bharata devotee, he became a victim of his affection, motherly affection for a little deer, which appeared helpless. So, for everyone, Maya has a particular trick. And so, practically speaking, um, and it's mentioned neither through austerity, nor through charity, nor through knowledge, nor through uh, uh, nor through anything of that nature, we can conquer Maya. So then, how does one conquer Maya? One conquers Maya by following in the footsteps of a devotee who has conquered Maya, following in the footsteps, following in the path shown by. So one needs to have a prayerful mood. One needs to have, like I said, one needs to have honesty and admit that uh, I can be bewildered. I can make mistakes. Sometimes it's so difficult for somebody to admit that he has made a mistake. He has miscalculated. He has goofed up, and so on. It's so difficult for sometimes people to accept that. But in the Vaishnava doctrine, it is mentioned that uh, one has to wear that quality always, that I am insignificant. It does. The Lord does not have to work very hard to bewilder me, or for that matter, even Maya does not have to try very hard. I will straight away walk into the trap. It does not. I don't have to make Maya sweat to fall down or something. I easily walk into a trap of Maya. So, but then of course, it does not mean we become depressed and say that, oh, come on, whatever I do, whatever I say, whatever I. Anyway, I'm going to fall victim to Maya. So, might as well live in Maya. Sometimes devotees may think like that. Oh, anyway, I'm going to fall for Maya. If not now, later, tomorrow. So, better live in Maya itself. No, that's not the way to approach it. Maya can be, just like Krishna cannot be conquered. Krishna is Ajita. He cannot be conquered. He's the one who has all six opulence in all its perfections, infinite extent, beauty, strength, knowledge, renunciation, power, etc. Everything he has infinite extent. So he really cannot be conquered. Strength also. But at the same time, we see how Krishna can be conquered also. That's also some type of Achintya Beda Veda. See, he cannot be conquered, but at the same time, he can be conquered. See, Krishna can be conquered by humility, by tenderness, by devotion, by love, and he allows himself to be conquered. Like in the Leela where he gets bound up by Mother Yashoda, Krishna actually becomes subservient to Mother Yashoda. So while it is said at one level that Krishna cannot be conquered, but another level we see that Krishna voluntarily agrees to be conquered by the love of Mother Yashoda. So similarly, uh, Maya cannot be conquered, but at the same time we see that when we take complete shelter of Guru Krishna, and with humility and with uh, with a feeling of helplessness and understanding that our insignificant position in front of Krishna or Maya. So when we go to Krishna, And Krishna looks at us. Look, Krishna is interested in such devotees. In the sense that he says, here is somebody who's at least showing the right sentiment, right temperament, right sentiment. And so ultimately, in order to conquer Maya, Mama Maya Duratya, Mamaiva ye prapadyante. Only when Krishna sanctions does one overcome Maya. Otherwise, it is not easy. It is impossible, practically impossible to conquer Maya. Many people over the years have tried austerity or giving charity or knowledge or becoming scholarly and so on, and different things. But none of that actually attracts Krishna to give you the highest form of mercy. None of them attracts Krishna to release the highest form of mercy. The highest form of mercy Krishna gives to that person who is surrendered, or shall we say, who's under the guidance of another guru, acharya, whatever, and then is very humble and helplessly seeks Krishna's protection from the onslaught of Maya. And then Krishna is interested in such people. He says, so here we see that Narada Muni, because he's always talking about Krishna and glorifying Krishna and engaging others also in the service of Krishna. And Prabhupada mentioned he has no other thought in his mind other than service of Krishna. So he is glorified to the extent that the title Bhagavan is applied to Narada Muni as well. The title Bhagavan is used to refer to Narada Muni as well. So that's not an ordinary thing. We see Maitreya is referring to him as Bhagavan Narada. Maitreya talking about him as the supreme devotee Narada. And so that's the sage Maitreya is recognizing Narada's greatness. He acknowledges that. So this is a very nice, sweet quality. Everybody acknowledges the greatness of everybody, of some other devotee. So Vaishnavas have to learn this art of appreciating, genuinely appreciating. And this is the best antidote for envy and pride and reflect, introspect and reflect how fortunate we are that we have the association of devotees who are very serious, very genuine, very committed, very sincere in pursuing path of bhakti. How blessed and fortunate we are to have such association. So basically, we can learn all of this when we become a disciple. That is why Guru is absolutely essential. Prabhupada also talks about how we need to have a Guru in our spiritual life. In fact, it is said that if somebody were to come to you and say, I've read all the books on medical, how to do surgery, I've read them, or shall we say, I've read all the books and manuals on how to become a pilot, so please hand over the plane, I'll fly. Will someone do that? So even material knowledge without proper, shall we say, knowledge transfer from in the parampara, that knowledge transfer does not happen. One is not recognized, not just recognized, one can't do it. It's not about, see, being Guru, or it's not about acquiring knowledge. While acquiring knowledge is an essential attribute that is required, essential, but that's not all. To be a Guru, one has to be first has to be a good disciple. If you're not a good disciple, you can't be called a Guru at all. Actually, a Guru is considering himself as a disciple all the time. He doesn't say that, okay, now I have become a Guru, so I'm no longer somebody's disciple. No. A Guru understands that even being Guru is a service to his Guru. Is a way of serving his Guru. Is a way of serving the command or instruction or the vision or plan or whatever of his Guru. So a disciple never stops being a disciple. And that is his primary identity. A disciple's primary identity has always said, I am a disciple. No matter what is the role he executes. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki. No matter what role he is executing, he may be Guru, he may be President, but one should always be conscious that my primary identity is that I am a disciple, I am a servant of my Guru. And whatever I am doing is a way of fulfilling the instructions of my Guru. Whatever instructions he is giving me, whatever So this is another way of serving my guru, playing the role of a guru at the order of his guru. So that's why it said that somebody should be a guru only when he is authorized by someone else in the Guru Parampara, by his predecessor in the Guru Parampara. So Guru is essential. There are so many examples in the Vedic scriptures where it is said that when someone doesn't have the shelter of his Guru, he is considered to be very weak and vulnerable. See, there's something about the spiritual knowledge as we understand. Spiritual knowledge is inherited, or shall we say, is passed down one generation to another generation to another generation. But one doesn't become a disciple just by acquiring knowledge. One becomes a disciple by becoming a disciple, in the sense that one accepts a guru in one's life. When one accepts a guru in one's life, one develops the mood of servitude. You accept guru as your authority in your life, guru as somebody who's an object of respect, worship in your life, and service and surrender. So how do you learn? You can't learn that. You only can learn that by practicing that. You can't mentally tell yourself, okay, now I'm, yes, but you have to actually do it. You actually go and do some menial service to your guru, listen to him, follow his command, live under him, live under his care and shelter, live until we get to understand that serving him, pleasing him is the way I maintain myself as a disciple. You know, it's like chastity between a wife and a husband, wife actually practices chastity, and that's how she becomes endowed with that quality. So same way, guru, one has to become a disciple in order to develop, or shall we say, understand and realize what it means to have the attitude of a servant. How can one understand the attitude of a servant without becoming a servant? It's not that of an academic understanding. It's not science. It's not maths. It's not chemistry or something. It's how your mind thinks. It's how your mind reacts. Is your mind willing to accept somebody as a living guru in your life? So there may be people who are very scholarly, but they don't want to accept guru in their life. Very, very scholarly. They are researched into Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Sri Jiva Goswami Satsandarbhas, the written books, etc. But they will not accept the idea of being under a guru, serving him. One time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, many times he did this. There was some very prominent politician who would come regularly to his ashram, sometimes talk to him, ask him questions. And many times, Bhakti Siddhanta would tell him, you really want to understand everything? Why don't you go and help the pujari wash pots in the DT department, something like that. And this devotee was gentle and humble enough to accept that instruction. He would go and wash pots, and did that many times. He said that, he remembers later on, he recounts. He says, many times, whatever question I had, somehow I got the answers when I went and started serving in the DT department, washing pots, helping a pujari. All the answers came to me. So there is something very special about accepting a guru and worshipping him, serving under him. That is, and what we learn is valuable. It can't be learned by any other way. It can't be learned academically or by study of the scriptures. It can be learned only by living the life of a disciple. Living, thinking, feeling, acting the life of a disciple as a servant of your guru. So when one does not, and then it is said that in the heart of such a person, the entire knowledge of the Vedic scriptures become revealed. The knowledge, the mood in which one has to accept, the mood in which one has to serve, everything becomes revealed. It becomes a practical reality for someone who accepts a guru. One does not accept, then he remains what we can say as a jnani. We can only say even his jnana is incomplete, because it's just pretty academic. Just as one, there's a big difference between learning surgery by reading a book and learning surgery by reading a book and working under an experienced doctor. So it is working under an experienced doctor which makes your learning complete and meaningful, and which you can apply. Same way, reading scriptures can be can mature, can become mature only, fructify, mature, become mature only when we live under a guru, in the association of devotees under a guru. So that the final touch, the finishing touch is given when we accept a guru, and then we learn from him. So here Prabhupada is saying, such guru who teaches us, who accepts us as his disciple, agrees to train us, agrees to mentor us, agrees to correct us, actually is doing a thankless job, because in the Kali Yuga, people are so full of pride that they they don't hesitate to, uh, at least in their mind, they don't hesitate to question their guru or have entertained some rebellious ideas against their guru's instructions or something. Sometimes it happens in the mind. So it's a thankless job, how to teach, how to train. But how can we become servant of Krishna if we don't accept to become servant of Krishna's devotee, Krishna's representative guru? And hence Maitreya is saying Bhagavan. In other words, as much respect and adoration and we offer to Krishna, we can offer to Guru. Actually, it is said that we learn how to serve Krishna by first learning how to serve Guru. We learn the art and science of becoming a servant by serving Guru. If you don't serve a Guru, how on earth are we going to, I mean, how in Vaikuntha are we going to serve Krishna? If we don't serve Guru here, how is it we going to suddenly develop that attitude of servitude? No, it's not going to work like that. We have to learn. We have to. So, Guru is actually doing that thankless job on behalf of the Guru Parampara training, etc. So, here it is said, one more wonderful thing we see is that the Prachetas are so rejoiced when they see Narada, are very happy. They welcome him wholeheartedly, lovingly, with so much affection, with so much respect. And they say, please come. We hope you didn't have any difficulty while you're coming here. We are very happy, we feel blessed, we feel fortunate that you have come here. And it's so appropriate that we are seeing you because of our absorption in family life. We almost forgot what we learned from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. They say that. And then they also say that now kindly enlighten us, just as a torchlight can drive away darkness. Please drive away our attachment to material, family life. Please drive it away. Do us that favor. Please bless us by driving away that attachment that we had developed. So the point is, even though they were instructed by Lord Shiva and Vishnu, they were, you could say, they are admitting that they were bewildered in their, now what to speak of us. So hence we should be even more careful. We cannot tell ourselves, or we cannot fool ourselves by telling ourselves that no, I'm different, I won't come under Maya, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing so many other things, I'm quite successful, I have so many followers, etc. No, you may have all of that, but nothing is going to stop you from becoming bewildered by Maya, because Maya is different. Maya is another type of an energy. Just as Brahma, he must have thought, I'm the creator, etc. But he also became victimized by the illusory energy of the Lord, so much that he couldn't even figure out that he's been fooled by Krishna. Actually, he was fooled by Maya, we could say. Krishna's energy, Maya. So, what to speak of Prachetas, and then you can imagine our own situation. So, which is why we begin our day by chanting the Guru Vandana prayers. We remind ourselves that I'm servant. Let me please pass this day as a servant of my Guru. Serve him nicely. Servant of the Vaishnavas, my Guru. My business is to serve. My business is not to lord over. My business is not to exercise authority, power, etc. If we are in a position where we have to exercise some power or something, we have to be even more careful that we don't get carried away. That this respect is not to me as a person, is to me because of the mercy of my Guru, by the institution, by Srila Prabhupada's, whatever. And it's meant only to be used to serve Guru and Krishna, Vaishnavas. So especially those who are in power, authority, they should be even more cautious. Very, very cautious. Just as we saw Indra getting carried away. Indra gets carried away so many times. In the Bhagavatam, it said one time his Guru walks in and Indra doesn't recognize or acknowledge that his Guru has come. He continues to sit on the asana, and it has disastrous consequences for Indra and all the devatas for his act of showing arrogance in the presence of it. I mean, Indra was so carried away by the worship and the adoration and the power and the beauty and the wealth and everything that he had acquired that he misses it. He loses it. He becomes victimized, and all the devatas have to pay a heavy price for his transgression. So we have to be careful, which is why Mahaprabhu also says Trunadapi Sunichena. So that's not an empty sentiment. Mahaprabhu is warning us, saying that in this material world, actually, forget about Indra having so much power and becoming victim. We may become victim without any power also, because uh, the mind is such a funny thing that it'll make, even though we may not be the best in anything, it'll make you think you're big, important, very vital to whatever. So mind can trick you even in that situation. So one has to be extremely cautious. Now, the only way one can be cautious, is by reminding oneself that I'm the servant of my Guru. The only way we can be cautious is to constantly remind ourselves that I'm a servant of my Guru. I'm here because of my Guru. This is my Guru's institution. My job is to serve him. My job is to serve his mission or vision or idea. And and by extension of that logic, I'm also a servant of all the devotees who reside here. I'm a servant. And when one takes service from them, one should be extremely cautious and careful that we don't think that that service is for me per se, me as a person. No, it is, uh, what can I say? It is, um, it is their good-heartedness that they're seeing me or someone as the representative of Guru or like that. So I'm representative, but at the same time, I should never allow that to get into my consciousness, in the sense that I should always say, remind myself that so my primary identity is that of I'm a servant of my Guru. I'm a servant, I'm a menial servant, I'm a servant, I'm a dasa of my Guru. That is my primary identity. That's the only insurance for us to stop us from becoming victim or being carried away by external energy of the Lord. Um, well, there are many ways in which the external energy can trap you. One is, of course, growth life and this and that, power, worship, authority. And sometimes we are little more endowed than others. Maybe we sing better, maybe we can manage better, maybe we can talk better. Even that, we have to understand that this is somehow Krishna has given in order to achieve some result, something of his own. I mean, Krishna has empowered us to some degree to achieve some plan of the Lord or parampara. It's not mine. It's not mine at all. Because if Krishna chooses, he can withdraw it at any point of time. Like it happened in Arjuna's case, he withdrew that Shakti that Arjuna had, and and that he possessed, because he had the Gandiva and he fought and he defeated so many people. Krishna just withdrew. Krishna can withdraw at any point of time. So at that devotee who understands that everything is happening by Krishna's plan, Krishna's desire, and I'm servant of my Guru, actually is very safe, very safely situated, and he will taste the unlimited bliss of devotional service. He will taste, because he's carefree. He's neither attached to his position or anything. He's attached to his position as a servant of his Guru. That's the only position he's attached to. All other things are as per the command of his, somebody is serving here in some capacity. Tomorrow, if his Guru says, why don't you go elsewhere and serve? One should be ready. One cannot say, no, I already like this place or something, I'm attached to this place. Ideally, one should not say that. Because if we have attachment, the attachment is only to our position as servant of Guru and Krishna. And we are ready to perform that role in any capacity, anywhere. Like Prabhupada says, for Krishna's sake, for Lord Chaitanya's sake, for my Guru's sake, I'm ready to go anywhere and preach. I'm ready to do anything. I'm ready to go to the most dirtiest or part of the world or hellish planets in order to preach. And you can see so many of disciples of Prabhupada, when they're passing away, they're saying this: we want to go wherever Prabhupada is. We want to rejoin his movement. We want to go back and serve him like we were doing before. And they apologize. They say, because of my negligence or arrogance or weakness or this, for some time I was separated from serving Srila Prabhupada. But I'm so happy and pleased that Prabhupada has accepted me again and giving me a chance again. And I definitely, after this lifetime, if there is anything I want to do, it is to go back to Prabhupada and rejoin his mission. So that's the mood of a very sweet, very nice attitude of a devotee, of a servant, of a disciple, of a disciple. So this is what the acharyas teach us. This is what we learn when we become a servant of Guru. What we cannot learn through books, we learn by actually working, serving as a servant. I mean, well, there are different levels of bhakti. You can chant, you can read, you can do different things. Levels are there, but the highest level is somebody who's very anxious to completely surrender to his guru and execute the mission of his guru all the time. That's the highest level. So such a person is qualified. He's the best disciple. He's qualified to be a guru. Only such a person is genuinely qualified to be a guru. It's mentioned Swapacho Guru. That means even if he may be born in a dog eater's family, doesn't matter. But he has understood the essence. He has understood that he is to be servant. So, for example, Lord Chaitanya will go and ask Haridas Thakura, now tell me, Haridas, how do people of this material world liberate themselves? Haridas Thakura will become very, what is the word? Will become stunned. He says, my Lord, why are you asking me? What's the point in asking me? I'm so dependent on you, on your mercy, on your lotus feet, on the dust of your lotus feet. I somehow want to stay as a particle of dust at your lotus feet, under your lotus feet also. Now you're asking me how people of this world can liberate themselves. I am hoping that I'll get liberated by the touch of the dust of the lotus feet of your lotus feet. I'm desperately hoping that you'll somehow mercifully glance at me at least once and bless me, so that I can be. Now, what is this here? What your leelas are so bewildering. Now, what are you trying to do by asking me this question? Then Lord Chaitanya says, I'm so pleased with your answer. Very nice. You're passed, or whatever. And then he'll say, now you tell me. I'm going to repeat the question. What should the living entities do to get liberated from this material world? He will repeat the question. Then Haridas Thakura says, you're asking me this question. I will take it as an order. If you're asking me and me not replying would amount to some kind of disobedience. I would not like to show disobedience to you. You're commanding me, asking me this question. This is a new seva you're giving me, new type of seva. I will pray to you. I'll hold on to your lotus feet. I'll pray to you that you reveal the answer through me. You reveal the answer through me. You're asking the question. I am not qualified. I don't know what to say. I have no idea what you want to hear. So may you speak through me. You are the one who's asking questions. You please reveal the answer and I will just repeat it. Whatever comes to my mouth by your grace, I will repeat it. So Haridas Thakura says that. And then he says, of course, he says that one can liberate oneself simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That answer also pleases Lord Chaitanya very much. But the point is that Haridas Thakura, just because the Guru, the Lord of his life, Mahaprabhu, asked him, it's not that he felt, okay, at last I'm being recognized. No, that's not how he felt. He felt embarrassed. He felt ashamed. He says, how can you ask me what I can tell you? How I can reveal? How can I tell you? But nevertheless, because you're asking me, I will take it as an order and I will repeat however you choose to inspire me. In that manner, I will reveal. Whatever you tell me, whatever you want me to say, is what I will say. Because on my own, I have nothing. I have no knowledge, nothing. So Mahaprabhu becomes pleased with that aspect also of Thakur Haridas. So here the Prachetas are so delighted that they are getting a chance to hear from Narada Muni. So they are so delighted. They are happy. So in the same way, we should serve. We should follow the instructions. We should be a good servant. We should be enthusiastic servant. And we should always be ready to hear instructions, knowledge, And we should observe the Guru and learn from his mood of surrender, his mood of service to his Guru, his mood of dedication, his uh, uh, his uh, his enthusiasm in serving the mission of his Guru. By observing, we can learn all of that, and we can also see how diligent he is in serving his Guru, how diligent, how careful, how respectful, how grateful he is in the way he is serving his Guru. So that's what we need to learn. So here Prachetas become so delighted when Narada Muni walks into their life. And sometimes, of course, Lord Krishna does what he did to um, Thakur Haridas. He will ask him, and then actually, Krishna wants to showcase the mood of Haridas Thakura. Mahaprabhu wants to showcase, saying that, see what a perfect disciple or servant he is. How, even though I am asking, he is the fact that I am asking him something, even that he turns it into an opportunity to surrender more to me. He's saying, I cannot say anything. Whatever you make me say is what I will say. And I'm very embarrassed that you're asking me this question. I don't think I'm qualified. I'm the most fallen. I'm the most wretched. But somehow you have chosen to ask me this question. I will I will I will speak whatever you inspire me to speak. So he uses that test also as an opportunity to surrender even more to his Guru. So it's so nice that devotees, disciples are always challenging themselves in the sense that they 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 kind of want to surrender more and more to the vision of their Guru. So Narada Muni is one such devotee. He says, Prabhupada says, always thinking about Krishna, wanting to serve Krishna, thinking about his instructions, and that's the only thing that's there in his mind and consciousness, and serving the Lord, uh, and hence he is qualified to be a guru because see, somebody has to be a good disciple, a good devotee, disciple in order to become a guru. Not that when you become a guru, you stop being a disciple. No, no. You start becoming even more careful, even more dedicated to the mission of your guru. It's just one more role that you're doing for the pleasure of your guru. There's no stopping from being a disciple. Actually, in the material, it said it's the safest position for a living entity is the lotus feet of his guru or Vaishnava, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, etc. The safest position in this material world is that. So, and then it's also said that there's so much, what can we say? So much bliss one experiences when one leads a carefree life like that. Carefree means one does not have anything material, one does not have a vested interest, one does not have a material interest, whether it's family, power, authority, anything. Everything he looks at as a opportunity to surrender more, utilize in the service of Guru and Krishna. So the Guru Tattva is very, in fact, many scholars have written after comparatively studying between Vaishnavism of different classes. They're saying Guru Tattva is most evolved in the parampara of Lord Chaitanya. Most evolved understanding of the Guru Tattva is there in the Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara, especially in the close dealings between Lord Chaitanya and his disciples and his intimate associates. You can see different shades of that Guru Tattva. Like, for example, just as Lord Chaitanya asked Haridas Thakura, Lord Chaitanya will ask Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to reveal and explain the entire philosophy of mukti, liberation. So, the entire philosophy of mukti, liberation, Lord Chaitanya makes Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya reveal. So, it's as the exchanges between guru and disciple become deeper and more, shall we say, so the like for example, we see Prabhupada also. He would carry in his heart his deep respect, gratitude, and admiration for his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta, and how those words that Bhakti Siddhanta said when he first met Prabhupada become a lifetime mission for Prabhupada. So, how can there be a better example than that? And Prabhupada would always consider himself his primary identity. Of course, founder Acharya of Iskcon, a Tridandi disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And I've seen many acharyas and leaders of Iskcon, they will, when they say, "Can introduce yourself?" They will not say, "I'm Guru, I'm this, I'm GBC." The first thing they'll say, "I'm a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and I'm his whatever Tridandi sannyasi," like that. So they're happy, they're well situated, they're proud, they're very proud that Prabhupada accepted them. So Guru coming into our life is very special, very very special. Guru is the one who transforms our understanding into, uh, like I said, it becomes mature. Like we read books about surgery or how to fly a plane or something. And when we meet someone who's already done that and wanting to teach us, that's when our knowledge matures. So, Guru, without that, our knowledge does not mature. Because ultimately, what are we learning? We're learning how to be servant. We should never forget that. We're not learning how to manage. We're not learning how to become scholar. We're not learning how to become pandit. We're not learning how to do severest of austerity. We're not learning how to be charitable. We're not learning how to be, in a material sense, renounce. The only thing we have to learn is how to be a servant of our Guru Parampara. That's the only thing we have to learn. Everything else comes after that. Everything else in a devotee's life comes after that. And how can we learn that without accepting a Guru? So it is mentioned here and there in the scriptures. One can chant Hare Krishna, one doesn't need initiation. When one chants, one wants to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is absolute. It is self-manifested. I mean, in the sense that it is all powerful. And there are references which say that from the day you chant, from the day you start chanting, it starts working on you favorably, of course. But if that were the case, that if one can read scripture or chant, and then why would Prabhupada accept a Guru? Why would Lord Chaitanya accept a Guru? Why would so many, every form of the Lord when he incarnated, he accepted a Guru? Practically every form. Why would Krishna accept a Guru? Why would Krishna recommend that Guru has to be accepted in the Bhagavad Gita? Why would the scriptures say, what is that famous verse which says, Tad Vijnanartam sa Guru meva vigachet. So you want to learn, you really want to learn how to be a servant of Krishna, accept a Guru. He will teach you. So in the scripture it is mentioned that maybe you can chant the Hare Krishna mantra. But that's all right. But when and how will you learn how to be a servant? How to be a servant? That you'll learn only when you're living in the association of Vaishnavas and accept someone as your authority. We have to learn to accept someone as our authority, because when we go, if we want to ever go to the spiritual world, we have to learn how to accept Krishna as our authority. How do we go there if we don't practice how to accept authority here? Mind is rebellious by nature. Mind rebels. Mind is very arrogant. Mind is very proud, very prideful. It may accept many things, but it doesn't accept that I am insignificant. I can do mistakes easily. It doesn't accept. I can do mistake. I have done a mistake. I've goofed. I've miscalculated. I've misspoken. We don't accept these things so easily. And we don't accept that in front of somebody, someone else is better than me in always. In always. We don't accept. We don't like to accept. That's how our mind is in its conditioned state. But in its liberated state, the mind is different. In its liberated state, the natural position of the mind is to be servant of the Guru. Just as the natural position of the fish is to be in water, the natural position of the liberated mind is to be at the lotus feet of Guru. But in its conditioned state, the mind rebels. Completely rebels. For the mind is an anathema. This idea is not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. But then you can see in Prachesa, they're so happy that they were instructed by Shiva, by Vishnu, and now Narada has walked into their life. And they're rejoicing. And they're celebrating. And then in the purports here, Prabhupada says they'll relish the words spoken by a guru, an acharya, like that. So, if there's something we can learn from this verse, it is that we should always be conscious that our mind can play tricks, our mind can rebel, our mind can refuse, our mind can uh, be fooled easily, our mind can forget. Uh, and the one best way is to constantly remind ourselves that one is a servant of your Guru. Hare Krishna. Any questions? And then Krishna sometimes glorifies some people like that, like Lord Chaitanya glorified Haridas Thakura. Krishna will, when Yudhishthira asks him a set of questions, Krishna will say, "Come, let's go to Bhishma and learn from him." Like that. So, such people who have understood this philosophy perfectly and are practicing, living by it, who accept Krishna, whatever, as an authority, Krishna will tell Yudhishthira, "Now come." Even though he was physically present, he takes them to Bhishma and says, "You learn from him. He's perfect. He can teach you better than me," or something. Krishna says that also to glorify the devotee who's got that perfect understanding. Okay, any no questions? Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes we get some thoughts inside,
Uh,
some way of thinking, realizations like whether it is realization or is it Krishna is telling or it is on our mind is telling how to differentiate. Prabhuji? Is it
ho
only
ho.
asking the authorities is the only way or can we, is there any other way, sir?
Oh, you're saying sometimes we get some realizations. I want to know how authentic they are, how genuine they are, or is it just trick of the mind? The best way of knowing is verify with somebody. Verify with some neutral person who's your well-wisher and who has the courage to speak the truth. Because sometimes mind plays tricks, especially when someone is trying to correct you. Then you become angry, you rebel, and then then the automatic reaction is then you look at faults at that person. See, he's pointing out what about him, how many faults he has. So we tend to react like that. So better talk to somebody who's neutral and check with him what you're feeling. Is it okay? Is it wrong? Don't trust your mind always. Don't trust your mind at all. Trust Guru Sadhu Shastra. That'll help you. When we analyze ourselves, see, it's like we can't play the role of I'm the victim, I'm the lawyer, I'm also the judge. Doesn't work like that. You may be feeling victimized, but you can't be the lawyer, the accused, the judge, everything. No, judge somebody else, someone else who's not connected. I mean, who's neutral, like that. They will reveal. Like Duryodhana is taking advice from Shakuni or from Dushasana. That's not a good thing to do. And Ravana chases out Vibhishana. He says, I think you're acting on behalf of my enemy. Like that. So anybody who fills his environment with people who will always support him or glorify him or whatever, that's dangerous. Okay, good question. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai Shri Shri Gauri Nitai.